This doesn't feel like a normal breakup because it isn't. With a narcissist, the end is rarely an end. It's a strategic pause. The sudden silence, blocking or vanishing act is designed to create confusion and urgency in you. Your brain scrambles for meaning while theirs harvests control. Discard in this context isn't closure, it's orchestration. They withdraw attention to measure your pursuit, to see if you'll chase, plead, or apologize for things you didn't do. The quiet is a test, not a tombstone. To understand discard, start with how they see people. Narcissists don't relate as partners, they relate as consumers. People are not companions, but resources, attention, admiration, access, status, sex, problem solving, or safety. When a resource feels depleted or difficult, they don't repair, they switch. Your humanity becomes secondary to utility. So when they end it, what they actually mean is, I'm pausing this resource while I trial another. It's accounting, not intimacy. This mindset is rooted in early attachment wounds. A child who learned that care was conditional may grow up equating closeness with threat. To survive, they perfected distance, control, and performance. Adult narcissism is that survival script wearing adult clothes. They don't connect to their inner world, so they cannot safely connect to yours. The discard reflects this split. If I can't regulate feelings, I will regulate people. The lever isn't empathy, it's access. Because connection feels risky, they prefer predictability over depth. Intermittent reinforcement, hot then cold, keeps you preoccupied and pliable. The highs spike dopamine, the lows spike cortisol. Your nervous system bonds to the very person causing alarm, confusing relief with love. Discard intensifies the loop. The more you ache, the more a future breadcrumb will work. Recognizing this physiology is empowering. You are not weak. You are human in a conditioned cycle. Object constancy deficit explains their emotional amnesia. When you're out of sight or fail to validate, you fall out of mind. They can idealize you at noon, erase you by dusk, and text like nothing happened next week. This isn't your failure, it's their fragmentation. Discard is their way to silence dissonance. If you won't comply with the story, remove the character. Later, if the plot needs you again, they reintroduce your role. Scripts, not relationships. Why the sudden block? It's a control artifact. Blocking punishes autonomy and collapses your options. No questions, no negotiation, no closure. It also crafts a public narrative. I ended it. But notice how often blocks mysteriously lift when they need supplies, status repair, or practical help. Discard is theater, grand exits that set up dramatic re-entries. The curtain only closes so the spotlight can feel brighter on return. Will they come back? Often, yes, but for reasons that won't honor you. Hoovers tend to align with supply dips. A new romance cools. A job stress peaks. A birthday bruises ego, or consequences loom. They remember you when utility rises, not when empathy does. If you accept the return without new boundaries and accountability, the cycle resumes where it left off. Except you're more tired and they're more confident, the pattern works. What does discard mean for you? Withdrawal. The chemistry crash mimics grief and addiction at once. You are not just losing a person. You're losing a pattern your body adapted to. Expect waves, bargaining, maybe if I, self-blame, intrusive memories, insomnia. None of these are proof you belong together. They're proof your nervous system is detoxing. Treat the symptoms like real injuries. Sleep hygiene, hydration, nutrition, sunlight, movement, and gentle structure. The silence also activates old wounds. If childhood taught you to earn love by appeasing, the discard reopens that lesson. You may overfunction. Long messages, apologies for imagined harms, gifts, promises, pause, ask, am I seeking clarity or relief from anxiety? Clarity can wait, anxiety cannot. Soothe first, decide later. Self-validation breaks the compulsion to chase external affirmation from someone withholding it by design. Did any of it mean anything? It meant what you experienced. Your care was real. Your efforts were sincere. Their experience was different. Sincerity was leveraged, not reciprocated. Two truths can coexist. Yours doesn't erase theirs. Theirs doesn't negate yours. Healing requires you to honor your reality without editing it to match their narrative. You don't have to downgrade your love because they discounted it. Discard is not proof you were too much. It's proof that boundaries, needs, or normal human complexity exceeded what their control system tolerates. Healthy partners negotiate differences. Narcissistic partners neutralize them. If you asked for respect and got a disappearing act, you didn't break the bond, you exposed its terms. A relationship contingent on your silence is not a relationship, it's a role. Notice the timing. Discards often follow micro-ruptures. You asked a pointed question, named an inconsistency, declined a demand, or radiated new self-possession. Your autonomy threatens their narrative preeminence. Instead of repair, they reset the board. This is why perfect weeks can suddenly implode. Your rising clarity is not failure, it's progress. Their retreat confirms impact, not your unworthiness. Social media stunts, after discard, love bombing a new partner, public bliss, inspirational quotes, serve three functions: show the world they're valuable, poke your insecurity, and prove they were never the problem. Understand the choreography, and the spell weakens. If it were truly bliss, it wouldn't need your audience. Real joy is quieter, propaganda is loud. Should you confront? If safety allows and you genuinely seek closure, you can try concise truth. This dynamic harms me. I'm stepping away. But don't bargain with empathy that isn't present. Long explanations often become fresh supply, new material to debate, distort, or store. Closure comes from meaning you create, not from apologies they withhold. Your essay won't grade a heart that refuses the class. No contact is not a punishment. It's a perimeter. It protects attention, the most valuable currency you own. Attention fuels regulation, work, friendships, faith, sleep. Leaks cost you hours you think are minutes. Seal the leaks. Mute, block, unfollow, remove reminders, change routines that trigger scroll spirals. You aren't being dramatic, you're being deliberate with a brain still rewiring. Expect Hoover hooks disguised as kindness. Just checking on you, I miss us, I've changed, I had a breakthrough, no one knows me like you. The words can be true in feeling and false in function. Look for change in structure. Therapy, sustained, accountability accepted, ownership taken without prompting, respect for your pace, transparency without pressure. Promises are wind, patterns are weather. Triangulation often intensifies post-discard. They may mention an ex's devotion or a new partner's qualities to spark competition. Refuse auditions you didn't sign up for. Love isn't a casting call. It's a collaboration. If your value rises when you're anxious and falls when you're calm, you're not being loved. You're being calibrated. The most dangerous moment is the first relief wave, when they reappear. Your nervous system floods with finally, and critical thinking narrows. Pre-write your standards while you're clear. Non-negotiables, pace, communication norms, privacy, financial boundaries, conflict rules. Share them if you choose to re-engage. Then watch. Respect won't make you beg. It will make them consistent. What if they never come back? Then the discard becomes mercy in disguise. Without recurring contact, the cycle has fewer entry points. Your timeline compresses, healing accelerates. New bonds can form without constant rupture fear. Give pain a job. Journal, therapy, somatic practices, creative work, community service. Purpose metabolizes distress. Rumination multiplies it. Self-blame sounds rational because it uses specific memories. I raised my voice. I pressured. I picked a bad time. Own your part, then right-size it. Healthy partners say that hurt and stay to repair. Explosive exits for ordinary needs are not proportional responses. Responsibility is mature. Self-erasure is not. Friends may minimize. All breakups are hard. Just move on. You're overthinking. They're trying to help, but this pattern has unique neurobiological hooks. Educate your circle or curate it. Seek trauma-informed voices. survivor communities, or mentors who grasp intermittent reinforcement in gaslighting. Being accurately seen is medicine. Why can't I hate them? Because hate is still a tether. Indifference is the real exit. Indifference grows when you build a life vivid enough to dwarf the bond. Anchor to mornings that make sense, people who text back, work that builds, rituals that soothe. Joy makes obsession mathematically smaller. Dreams and flashbacks can spike months later. That doesn't mean you're back at zero. Healing is spiral, not straight. Each loop revisits a theme with more skills and gentler self-talk. Track progress in boring metrics. Fewer checks per day, quicker recovery from triggers, longer stretches of calm. Boredom, here is triumph. If co-parenting or shared projects prevent full no contact, practice gray rock, brief, bland, bounded. Facts only, no feelings, no future casting. Move logistics to written channels, set response windows, and refuse crisis theater. You are not obligated to match the volume of their urgency. Quiet is authority. The body keeps the score. After discard, you may somaticize, chest tightness, shallow breath, jaw clench, stomach knots. Pair cognitive insight with regulation. 4-7-8 breathing, bilateral tapping, long exhale walks, progressive muscle release, cold face splashes, humming to stimulate the vagus nerve. Teach your biology it is safe in your custody. Beware evidence hunts. You'll be tempted to analyze timestamps, likes, playlists, routes. Surveillance feels like control. It is actually delay. Each scan reopens the wound and feeds their relevance. Set a policy. I don't investigate what I don't intend to act on. Curiosity without capacity becomes self-harm. Write 2 letters you never send. First, the uncensored anger. Every injury named. Second, the goodbye rooted in dignity. What you learned, what you keep, what you release. Ritualized disposal, burn, shred, bury, or archive. Symbolic acts communicate with the nervous system in ways logic alone cannot. If they return humble, assess with time, not tenderness. Consistency over charm, humility over eloquence, repair over romance. Ask about difficult topics and watch for defensiveness versus curiosity. People who are safe can handle your no, your why, and your not yet. Unsafe people hurry timelines and punish doubt. Children and pets complicate exits. Narcissists may weaponize both. Document patterns, follow legal guidance, and enlist neutral third parties for exchanges. Keep records factual, dated, unemotional. Courtrooms read paper, not pain. Your steadiness now protects futures later. Workplace discards mirror romantic ones. Sudden devaluation, exclusion, rumor, then outreach when deadlines loom. Guard your reputation with receipts, clear emails, collaborative tone, boundary statements in writing. When they pivot to charm, keep the paper trail steady. Professional no contact equals role clarity. Spiritual themes often get hijacked. Forgive 70 times 7. Love is patient. Honor me. Forgiveness is not access. Patience is not permission. Honor without honesty is idolatry. Healthy faith traditions pair mercy with justice, grace with boundaries. Your soul can be kind and your door can stay closed. Grief rituals help. Plant something. Frame a photo of you, not them. Reclaim a room. Take a restorative trip with a trusted friend. Learn a skill your past dynamic discouraged. Replace the identity shaped by survival with one shaped by choice. Agency is an aftercare plan. Measure compatibility by repair quality, not chemistry intensity. After discard, the next bond can feel boring compared to volatility. Boring is often nervous system safety. Look for green flags, accountability, transparent communication, conflict gentleness, stable affection, delight in your boundaries. Calm is not lack, it's capacity. If you relapse, reply, meet, hook up, offer yourself compassion. Relapse is information, not identity. Ask what need did this try to meet? What safer plan can meet it next time? Update your environment. Delete threads, change routes, hand your phone to a friend during known trigger hours. Design beats discipline. Narrative reframes reduce shame. Replace "they left because I'm unlovable" with "they left because control mattered more than connection." Replace "I wasted years" with "I built wisdom I couldn't have bought." Replace "I'm broken" with "I'm in recovery and it's working." Language leads the nervous system. When you're tempted to text, outsource the impulse. Message a friend, write in a notes app, send it to your therapist, or record a voice memo for yourself. Give the feeling a destination that isn't their inbox. Most urges peak within minutes. If you breathe and move your body, expect smear campaigns. People who avoid accountability may rewrite history to protect image. Resist counter-smearing, speak to truth in small circles, and let time aggregate data. Reputations built on sensationalism crack under consistency. Your calm story will age better than their dramatic one. Track your gains like dated, days without checking, hours of quality sleep, workouts completed, meals cooked, pages read, minutes in prayer meditation, new connections initiated. Healing thrives on visible progress. When grief says nothing's changing, your ledger tells the truth. If they dangle therapy as a bargaining chip, clarify, "Please begin regardless of our status. Sustain it for X months. Share your goals and consent to couple work only after your clinician agrees it's appropriate." Real change survives boundaries, performance chafes at them. Recognize the urgency trap. They may message at midnight with "we must talk now." Emergencies they created are not yours to solve. Reply in business hours or not at all. Your life gets quieter when you refuse to live on someone else's siren schedule. Your future self needs resources more than resolutions. Build automatic supports. Calendar recurring therapy. Meal kits. Gym classes with a friend. Bill autopay. Bedtime alarms. Structure is love. You give tomorrow you. Discard takes enough. Don't let chaos take more. Romanticizing the beginning is a common withdrawal symptom. Make a paired list. Left column spark moments. Right column costs attached. Read both aloud. The nervous system learns by contrast. Beauty without cost analysis seduces you back to harm. If you co-own property or finances, create an exit file, account lists, balances, passwords, legal contacts, copies of IDs. Consult professionals early. Quiet, methodical moves protect you from last-minute shocks. Safety is a strategy, not a mood. Tell your story to someone who can hold it without fixing you. Being witnessed reduces shame load and lowers sympathetic arousal. Choose a therapist, support group, mentor, or faith leader who understands coercive control. Your experience isn't too much, it's too heavy to carry alone. When you feel the "what if they really changed" pull, ask a parallel question: what if I really changed? Let that curiosity fund your habits, your friendships, your craft. If they grow, you'll meet as new people at a new time. If they don't, you'll be too alive to settle. The most subversive act after discard is joy without permission. Schedule micro joys, a park bench in morning light, a playlist that isn't shared history, a recipe you've never tried, a room rearranged. Small pleasures reteach the brain that safety and sweetness coexist. Identity work matters. You are not the one who was discarded. You are an artist, analyst, parent, friend, runner, believer, builder. Fill in the sentence. I am the kind of person who, with verbs you practice, not wounds you carry. Let your calendar prove your claim. If you choose no contact, expect pushback from them. From mutuals, sometimes from your own self-doubt. Prepare one sentence: for my well-being, I'm not in contact. Repeat without elaboration. Boundaries weaken when you over-explain. You're not asking, you're informing. One day, the question, "Are they really done with me?" will soften into, "Am I really done with the pattern?" That is the hinge moment. When your answer becomes yes, not with rage but with relief, the discard loses its power. You stop auditioning for roles that injure you. Has the narcissist really broken up with you? Functionally, maybe. Psychologically, they rarely break up with anyone. They shelf, swap, and circle. The real breakthrough is this: you can write an ending they cannot edit. Closure is a boundary, not a conversation. Choose the chapter where your piece is the protagonist, and let the story turn.